This medicine for the mind is a ministry of the Haven. It is a ministry that explains how important recovery is and how to build it the God's way. You can recover completely and live a substance free life if you do it God's way. Now, I do know that there are several individuals that would suggest that it's uh, another way other than God's way. I believe it. I believe it. I believe you can. I don't. I believe you can do it, but I don't know how to teach anything other than God's way. I know for the last 30 years that I have been uh, dealing with this, and we're really about 27 years to be correct. 27, over 25 to 30 years. I found a lot of individuals that have had great success in recovery, and the only way that I know that they had success was it was God. It was God, and doing it God's way. And that's the way we're talking about today. And one of the ways you're going to have to do recovery is you can't do recovery alone. One of the keys to a successful, let me say this, the most important key, let's put it like that, the most important key, the foundation of recovery is found in relationships. Because in the beginning, in Genesis chapter 1, let me expound on it. In Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There's a relationship. There's a relationship that in order for the heavens and the earth to be created, there had to be a relationship between heaven and earth and God. For God created heaven and earth. Relationship. In verse 2, it says this: the earth was without form and void, darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. There we go again. The Spirit of God having a relationship with everything that is dark, with the earth, with everything. That before you're going to produce anything, there was a relationship. Then also in verse 3, it says this. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. If God's word did not speak over the beginning, it would not have created the beginning. It wouldn't have created light. It requires a relationship with God. I know that it's impossible to have a successful longevity. This is my conviction. It is impossible, my conviction, to have a long, successful, creative recovery without God. I just want to let you know. And so if you're watching this tonight and you've never accepted Jesus as your Savior and Lord, you might want to think about that. You might want to think about it tonight. Before you get through this, you might want to think about it, because the power to live free from substance abuse is totally connected to being a Christian that I know of. Just let's say it that way. And so this is when you say the prayer: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Notice that what it is, a relationship between God and man that's giving you the ability to deal with situations and have peace. Have peace. And we're focusing on tonight building trust. And in Genesis chapter 2, go there if you would. Man had a relationship with God. But in verse 18, look at what it says. And God said, it is not good for man that he should be alone. It's not good for man. Now, man represents Adam, and God was going to bring forth Eve, but man is representing mankind. It's humans. Human beings are not created to be alone. In other words, we have to have relationships with other people to live in this life successfully, period. And the only way we were formed in this world, before we to be born in this world, we were born with a relationship, because of a relationship. And a child is supposed to have a relationship with their parent, or with whoever is the guardian or taking care of that child. I'm convinced today that most of us have been influenced by relationships. That's what's been our biggest influence. And so when we lose trust, we cannot give up. We can't throw in the towel. We can't call it quits. And I've been teaching this for a little while now, and I've run into individuals that say, "Well, I'm just a loner. I don't trust anyone." Well, we got to deal with this relationship, because what you're not doing is building trust in relationships anymore. And perhaps it's because you have lost trust based on how you were treated or how you treated them. And we got to deal with that, okay? Now, you might want to write this down. One of the most important statements or slogans that I found to be true concerning trust is simply this: trust is gained in drops. Drip, 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 but lost in buckets. Trust is gained in drops, but lost in buckets. I recognize this, that trust is not easy to get. That's what this statement is saying. It's not easy to accomplish it. It takes time to accomplish that. It takes a series of interactions to accomplish trust. But one action can destroy it all. Destroy it all in just a moment. One action. And so we got to regain the trust. So what's going to happen? What will it take to regain the trust? Well, listen to this. For people struggling with substance disorders, the recovery process can be difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult. What I am saying is that it's possible. It might be hard, but watch this. It's not impossible. It is possible. Oftentimes, relationships with family, friends, or loved ones may be strained or permanently altered as a consequence of addiction. One of the biggest consequences of addiction is a loss of relationships. I asked a question recently, how has addiction affected you? And I received a series of answers. But one of the most important answers, or one that devastated me, that left me like shaking, was this. A young lady said, I lost a lot of my relationships. Man, that really disturbed me. And another person said, it stole me. Addiction took me from me. I saw myself doing things that I didn't think I would ever do. And I was like, wow. Another person said, I lost my children because of addiction. I chose the drug over my family. Listen, I'm telling you, relationships are important. And we know that in many instances, addiction recovery requires individuals to rebuild trust with people that they once had friendships or even intimate relationships with. Yes, they had to rebuild that trust. Rebuilding trust is very much a part of the recovery process, especially if persons with substance use disorders violated another person's trust at some point in the past. Individuals might feel undeserving of the trust and support that they once received from their loved ones. The work needed to repair relationships in recovery can introduce many feelings, including, hear this, including some of it stress and some of it anxiety. Therefore, the most important people in recovery seek a healthy means of self-expression, adopt positive and constructive coping strategies, and learn how to mend broken relationship with those who they love. We have to recognize that we have hurt and have done some things that is totally wrong. And we violated the level of trust. I want to say this. Sometimes we not only violated the level of trust, but we've been violated by other individuals whom we trust. The person that we thought would never let us down has broken the trust. They don't trust us anymore, so they do some things that are wrong and think perhaps we're deserving of it. You're deserving of it. You get what I'm trying to say? So I want to say this. There are 4 different relationships that the most important that you might want to consider. First of all, you got to develop the relationship with yourself. When that person said to me that the drug had stolen them from them, they stole who they were. You got to learn to trust yourself again. Have you ever felt like, is anyone ever felt like I've lost my trust for me? When I said I wasn't going to do it again, and I go right back to what I said I wasn't going to do again. Or I set aside a certain amount of money that I was going to use to pay bills. And then I found myself out of money with no money to pay the bills because I messed up. Y'all, you understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? Sometimes we don't trust ourselves. I was asking a question the other day to some individuals, like, what do you fear the most? And one of the answers was, I feel I'm going to fail. I'm fearing that I'm going to fail because I've tried this before. Listen, I'm telling you, you got to develop trust in yourself. If you don't believe you can do it, you will never do it. If you don't trust in yourself and related to your higher power, you will never get free from drugs. You'll never get free from alcohol. Listen, you got to learn to trust yourself. Matter of fact, let me tell you this. There is no person on the planet that has not made a mistake. I would go on record to say there's probably no person that on the planet that has said they were going to do something and didn't do it what they said they were going to do, or said I'm not going to do something and found themselves again doing exactly what they said they would not do. There's probably not one person on the planet. And if it was somebody on the planet, it's not good for us to compare ourselves to other people. You got to begin to trust yourself. The next one is you got friends. You see, I don't think any person in recovery or used substances started the first substance use by themselves. I believe it was the relationship. So your friendships are important because they influence you to use, and then also friendships can influence you not to use. Matter of fact, when we have violated a friendship, sometimes there were friends that were not using, but we used our friendship to use. Yes. So we violate the friends that we have. And then we get used to being around people that are shisty because they're using as well. Listen to this. Relationships with family. You know, you can always call on mama. Mama, you're supposed to. You're supposed to be every time. You can call on mama. And you know mama, you done told her lie after lie that you needed this money because you had a bill you forgot to pay. And you went off and got the change that mama reached in her bra and gave you. Bam. And you took it and got high with it. I know I've had family members to call them, to have someone else to call the mother and tell her that they had done something to her child, and if she didn't give them a certain amount of money, they were gonna kill her child. And come to find out, it was the child behind all of it because he wanted the money to use drugs. I'm telling you, this thing is real. And then the relationship with your spouse. How many have violated that relationship where you've lost trust and you've said to your spouse, I'm not going to do this again, and you found yourself out in the street doing what you said. You found yourself in the bar drinking something you said you would never drink again. Listen, I'm here to tell you, we can show you how to rebuild the trust. First thing you got to do to rebuild trust, with your phone. Right, I want you. Here we go. Right now, the first thing with your phone, delete. No, I gotta say it this way: block the individuals in your phone that will help you use drugs. Block them, then delete their number. Also, the person that you purchase drugs from, your supplier, if you will. Block their number, then delete it. You know, you're wondering why I'm saying block, then delete. Because when you block the number, they can't get to you, but you still can get to them. And what you want to do in a strong moment is delete the number that you would normally call to get your substance of choice when you're weak. And so there are going to be some trying days. The trying days will of weakness may the thought might come to your mind, well, call so and so. But if you've deleted the number, you can't go back to it. So that's one way you got to do. Take the phone, delete it. Now, another way to build trust with your that's trust with yourself, but also then we're talking about trust with other people. Get accountability a partner, someone to hold you accountable. If there's a person that you want to build trust with, you have to be accountable to that person. And if you are accountable to that person, at the beginning stage, they may not trust you. But the more they check on you and check on your attitude, check on you whether you're telling the truth, and the more they can hold you accountable, the more they'll begin to repair that trust load. They'll give you a bucket full of trust. You know, I remember there was an individual that had violated trust with their wife, and we had to help them repair their relationship. And the first thing I said to this individual was, hey, give her access to your phone. Give her access to your phone, because that when she has access, don't put a code in it that she don't know. Show her the code. Let her open up your phone. Look at who's texting you all the time. That can reestablish some trust. Give her all of your emails, and let her copy them and put them in her phone. I'm telling you, you gotta do work to hold yourself accountable to rebuild that trust. And then last but not least, hear this. When you're building trust, it is important to allow time. It is very important to allow time. You remember the statement from the beginning today? Trust is gained in drops and lost in buckets. It takes time to fill a bucket with drops. So you're going to have to put the time in. You don't have a right to tell the person how long they have to give you their trust back. You don't have the right to do that. If you violated the trust because you've done something, you used or whatever it is, listen, you got to give them time, and you need and let them take as much time as they need, to regain that trust, to reestablish that trust. It may be hard. I want you to know, it may be hard. But if the relationship is worth it, put in the time. Now, in conclusion today, watch your new relationships, because the new relationships, it'll be easy for you not to share with individuals that you have a issue with drugs, because people look pretty bad at people that have issues with drugs. I know. However, when you're building a new relationship, take it slow. Take it slow. Take it slow. Allow them to have to watch for you to have enough time to make a clear decision. That's what we're building a level of trust. The greatest thing I can tell you is you have to be candid. You got to be open and honest, and you have to share how you feel and be open about your feelings. You know, someone told me My difficulty is my family accuse me of stuff that I haven't done. And when they accuse me because of what I did before, it makes me feel really bad. And I have thoughts of going back out and using. Is there anyone today, you heard that thought of going back out and using because they accuse you and because they don't trust you? You know, one lady said, I lost the trust of my children. I have some children that I have a great relationship with. And then I have some other children that I don't even talk to anymore because they don't trust me. Hey, it's not over. You can do this. Wait it out. That's the key. Wait it out and trust God to work it out. Well, tonight, I'm glad she's tuned in. I hope this has been a great word for you. I hope it releases in you peace, that the relationships can be reestablished. You get what I'm trying to say? You get it? You get it? You get it? And if you want to subscribe or follow us on the screen right now, it's going to tell you exactly how to get in contact with us. Medicine for the Mind 919@gmail.com. And I'm starting a group. We're putting together a group. I want a lot of group of people to come together so that we can have a face-to-face Zoom encounter, have a Zoom meeting. It's called Medicine for the Mind. And doing it God's way. Well, tonight